Sunday. Coming up on This Week in Space, Rod and I are going to talk about 2023, the year that was in the final frontier, with our favorite guest, Leonard David. So be there, be square, and don't get lost in space.
Podcasts you love.
From people you trust.
This is Twit.
This is This Week in Space, episode number 91, recorded on December 15th, 2023. 2023 in space. This episode of This Week in Space is brought to you by Bitwarden, the open source password manager to help you stay safe online. You can get started with a free Teams or Enterprise plan trial or get started for free across all devices as an individual user at bitwarden.com/twit. Hello and welcome to This Week in Space, the second holiday special edition. I'm flanked by my indescribable pal, Tariq Malik, editor-in-chief at space.com. Say hello, Dr. T.
Hello. Happy end of 2023, Rod.
Is it really? Is it a happy end? Okay. Today we're joined by that Santa Claus of space, Leonard David.
Yeah.
Leonard, how the jolly ho heck are you?
I'm pretty good. I'm trying to grow my beard here in the winter of Colorado. And at 9,000 feet up here, it grows faster than I can trim.
It doesn't look like it's a challenge. It's a
it's a challenge because I don't touch it. I'm afraid.
So are you one of those guys where when I'm talking to you at the bus stop, I can see what you had for breakfast if I study your beard
it's getting pretty weird, And I kind of rely on the food in my beard, in case I get lost on the
snacking. Yeah, I know. Me too. Well, all right. Before we proceed, I do want to say, with a note of sadness, that we must tell you that our engineer and co-producer Ant Pruitt is no longer with the show. Ant oversaw the production of, I think, our first 100 episodes, roughly, if you include the ones that were in beta. He was a great partner, and he helped us grow and learn, which Tariq especially needed. Well, I guess I did too.
Wow.
Sadly, due to dramatically reduced revenue, as you've, I'm sure, heard if you listened to other Twitch shows, they had to reduce costs, and Ant's position was a part of that reduction. We miss him, and we wish him well and his family. And Ant, I hope you have a great 2024.
We love you.
Well, I was going to say that, but I thought it was kind of weird. It's worth noting that we can see more belt tightening next year, including things affecting this show if things don't improve. And I'd like to make a heartfelt request that you consider joining Club Twit to support this show and other great programming. It's just $7 a month. And for that, you get all of Twit's best stuff ad-free and a lot of extras that you won't see elsewhere. Give yourself the gift of engagement this year and sign up. All right. We have a show to do. But first, drum roll, we have a space joke. So this was from, oh, good Lord.
It's the last one of the year, right? Because we're off for the holidays.
Yeah, Brian Tanner. That's who gave us this one. Okay, all
right, Brian.
Okay, hold on to your retro rockets. Did you hear that the residents of the ISS have been directed to festoon all lavatory facilities with holiday decorations?
No, I did not. I did not hear that. Why is that the case?
Because it's beginning to look a lot like Christmas everywhere you go.
That's good.
I like that one. Okay.
That's a good one. That works. That works. That's a new effect. Right
somebody
there.
Smashed that elf. Okay. And because I always have two, here's the lame follow-up. Why did the Americans win the space race?
Why?
Because the Soviets were Stalin. Okay.
I love it.
That's fitting. All right. Very good. Let's get to some headlines.
Yeah. Good week.
Tariq, tell us what's going on. Well, both of you, if you wish, tell us what's going on with Bennu. We got our samples back a few months ago, and we've been waiting for somebody to slip a screwdriver into that airtight container and pry that damn thing apart ever since. What's happening?
Well, they got it open. This week actually is the annual AGU conference, the American Geophysical Union Conference. And there was a nice big presentation this week at the conference about all of the fun samples that they're talking about. And they announced, this week that they found some really weird stuff in the samples themselves. They've got these what do they call it? They like, it looks like it's like a cauliflower type texture of these tiny particles, and they're just really super surprised. You know, they've got these weird carbon signatures. They've got organic kind of signals that in there. You know, which is they
don't give us all that science talk. Be more general.
No, they actually, Dante Loretta, the head scientist, he said something in this conference that really struck me. This is from Live Science, by the way, our partner site. He said that the cosmo chemistry community. I didn't even know that was a word. Cosmo chemistry.
Oh, yeah.
Not the way you pronounce it.
That they're going to go to town, but they're really excited. These are really tiny centimeter and millimeter size. They call them hummocky boulders that have this cauliflower texture, and they're really sticky. They cling to everything that they touch, he said, and they're just trying to understand like what this means for the evolution of organic molecules in our solar system, what that could mean for life, right, on Earth, because we're all made of organic stuff and all of that. And, you know, it's these samples are making their way around now. So this is kind of the tip of the iceberg, because there are samples in London. NASA's delivering them to universities too, and they're just going to be diving into these for like many years. But this early stuff, you know, it's 3 billion years old, these samples, and these are the first scientists to touch them, you know, ever. So.
Yeah, Loretta's got a great book. He finally, I guess he finished the epilogue of the thing, because we all got draft copies of his book, but called Asteroid Hunter. Mm-hmm. And it's a really good read. He's a very good writer, and he explains, like you did there, about what the goals of bringing back those samples from Bennu could mean, and it's a great read. It's very informative, and Dante apparently has some kind of equipment that he just got money for, and it's installed in the basement of the university, and it's pretty in
Arizona,
pretty heady research that's going to happen with those samples. So it's great. Story.
Yeah, they also ran them through like a I'm going to show I'm pronouncing this wrong, a spectroscopic analyzer, and which kind of studies how it reflects different wavelengths of light, and they are really puzzled because there's this dominant kind of blue signature that they're getting from some scientists that are studying them, and they don't know what's causing it, like why it has this blue glow under this analysis, and they're trying to figure out what that means for anything, and they hope that they'll have some more in time to talk about it in the spring next
but Rod, we're back to what you said. 2 fasteners that didn't open, and I actually one of my trips over to Lockheed Martin, I'm up here in Colorado, so I get over there quite a bit. I was worried because I was actually involved in looking at the sample head when they were putting the spacecraft together, and I thought, did I do something?
I was going to say, what did you touch, Leonard?
Was it my fault?
There's an 8-inch beard hair stuck.
Yeah, I know. I think I jammed the damn thing. I've asked Lockheed Martin to make sure I didn't do something that I was not aware of. But yeah, that's kind of an embarrassing situation to get that far and have 2 fasteners, and they got to do a macro clean on these tools to open this thing, because that's the surprise. What is in there? How much they got? How big are they?
Yeah.
If they're skirting around the edge of this research, literally with leftover stuff on top of the whole canister, God knows what's inside there.
Yeah, we should point out. So, like Leonard and Rod pointed out, they're using tweezers to basically pick up the bits that are in this little flap that's stuck open, because they have to get these special tools approved to open those stuck fasteners still. Yeah. And so they're waiting on that. And so it's all still like a TBD, like all of the actual meat of the stuff inside. If you're on the video now, there's a nice little picture of that canister with the top. There's a lot of stuff caked on top that they're using.
Yeah. Meanwhile, they've been fighting this whole government shutdown. Right in the middle of all that, they had the government shutdown. It was not quite clear what was going to happen with the samples because of the NASA, federal government activity at Johnson Space Center. But that seems to be okay. And but yeah, what a great story. And it's a Pandora box. I don't know what's in there. I think this is going to beat, who is that reporter that went into Al Capone's bank vault and found out?
Oh, yeah. Al Capone's vault. And here it is. Nothing.
Was that Geraldo?
Yeah.
That was Geraldo Rivera, yeah.
Yeah, Geraldo.
One of his finer
we
moments.
don't want a Geraldo moment on Bennu, so I think we got a winner there.
Yeah.
Well, you guys sort of locked me up at hummocky and clingy because it reminded me of the first relationship. Okay, next one. We have Instant Life from space.com. Okay, Tarek, this story was weird. Even by the standards of space stories, this is weird. So we like to think that life formed on Earth about 4 billion years ago, give or take. Maybe earlier on Mars. I'm a big fan of panspermia, the idea that life started on Mars and migrated to Earth, mainly because it kind of kicks over the flower card of religion and philosophy for a while. But be that as it may, in a universe that's about 13 billion plus years old, how much earlier might life have occurred elsewhere? Our intrepid reporter asked. How about instantly? Might have occurred soon after the first stellar creation and death cycle of stars, because you need carbon, oxygen, nitrogen, and phosphorus, or do you?
Well,
so this article went on to talk about possibly life forming from some periodic table of dark matter, and then went into the multiverse and string theory, and life might have started there.
You're making it sound like it's a crackpot thing. Let me explain. So we
like you're going to help. Okay, go ahead, Mr. Science.
No.
I'm all ears.
One of our longtime collaborators and contributors, Paul Sutter, is an astrophysicist and an astronomer, and each month he.
Oh, and now I've offended him. I'm bad.
Yeah, no, he writes these columns about just the general state of research and likes to push things to the next level. And these types of questions, finding out what's possible, because to you and I. And maybe the bulk of the people, we all have a very specific definition of what life actually is, right? Because we see it all around us, and it's the only example that we have right now. And
are you telling me that you and Leonard are the only life examples?
No. I'm saying
I'm gonna kill myself.
When we look around, like when we look around, like my cats and like the microbes in the stream and all of that stuff. We have that's for people of Earth. That's the example that we have. But the life that we're looking for out in the universe can be very, very different. In fact, as Paul mentions, here, depending on what your definition of life is, I mean, it can be really stretched, to understand like what's out there, like prions and that kind of thing, things that are self-replicating over time. And that's what he's looking at, because, 97%, 96% of the universe, we can't even see it because it's dark matter. And one of the questions that Paul, in his role as a scientist, considered in this piece is, what does that even mean? Because we lump all of dark matter into like one giant bucket, and we know that all of that stuff was created like during the Big Bang, but we can't see it. But the matter that we see here, just on Earth, we've been able to split it up into different elements, into different different materials alone. And so are there different flavors of dark matter? Are there organic versions of dark matter, like the organic molecules we were just talking about from asteroid Bennu? And if that's the case, was that stuff created along with all of the rest of the dark matter at the Big Bang, just seconds after all that? Because we wouldn't even know it was there because we can't see it because it's invisible, right? And so it's a really interesting kind of question that it's going to be hard, I think, to even measure or quantify that, because again, we're talking about dark matter, the possibility of like dark life matter, from that dark matter. And I don't know how we're ever going to find it, man.
So does it really matter? All right.
Enough for you to pick it. right? For those.
Yeah, well, I thought it was, I saw it. At first, I saw it on Live Science, and I thought, what's it doing there? It should be on space.com. Although it said it came from space.com. I think that was a typo. But I thought, this is such a cool story, right till I got down to the string theory part. And I thought, hold on a second.
I think if we want to find life beyond Earth, we have to have a very open mind of what life could be. And just the thought that the conditions, or at least the materials that make up the building blocks for what we call life, could have been there from very close to the start, like seconds after the Big Bang, I think is just crazy, and it's a nice reminder that, the universe is 13.7 billion years old. And it's ginormous upon ginormous upon ginormous.
Like we need a reminder that it's ginormous. Okay.
And we are like this tiny little drop, right? That of life in this whatever like sea of a cosmos. We'll find something out there, or it's going to find us. But either way, I mean, there's room enough for all of it. So
yes, Reverend. Okay, let's move on. Hail! Let's move on to our last and possibly best story, which Tarek likes to call UFOs. UFOs with 2 exclamation points in the New York Times. Congress orders UFO records to be released within 25 years, but not as open as we hoped for. This is beginning to sound like the Kennedy assassination. What's going on?
Yeah, well, this has been, we've been talking about UFOs for a while. In fact, I think Leonard, you joined
Leonard's the guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Leonard is an alien. It makes it much easier.
Yeah, I got communication this morning, so I'll let that
All right. So basically, in the defense bill that was passed for the funding of the government, this measure did get pushed through, and the Senate has been actually asking for a much more open release of all of the government's UFO materials. We've been talking about all the meetings that the government has been having, that the Pentagon has been releasing, and NASA's report that got released in September about what it's found too, and this was like a little bit of some pros and some cons, because a lot of the members of Congress, at least in the Senate, they're a little upset that it was watered down to the point where the military can basically say, well, if it's going to endanger national security or release capabilities that the military wants to keep secret, they don't have to actually disclose any of their UFO records. But the bulk of the ones that wouldn't fall in that bucket are deigned to be released within 25 years of their first filing. So like the minute the Navy pilot sees a UFO with something conventional, right, their eyeballs or whatever, then they have 25 years to release that to the public. The big kind of like the double edge here for this bill that went through is that the people that decide if it's going to, hurt national security or break some of those technology release rules where we don't want our enemies or our other folks to know like what kind of sensing material that the Defense Department has. It's the Defense Department, so they can basically say everything would fall under that bucket if they don't want to release anything at all. And I think that some members of Senate, or a little like Chuck Schumer in particular, were really upset about that. They wanted kind of like a nice, clean, open, and transparent release of all of these materials. So they're trying to get the conspiracy theorists to kind of back down by saying, hey, here's all this information, and now the military and the government has this loophole that they can still make it look like they're hiding stuff. So I don't know what's going to happen of it. We'll see how this stuff gets released. But it was in there in the defense bill, and I thought it was worth talking about today.
Leonard, you must have something to say here.
Well, there's a lot to say, and it's pretty interesting. It's a journalistic story of reporters that are trying to get to the bottom of this pit that is endless, decades-wise, and we'll see what's going to happen this year or next year. I mean, the idea about full disclosure is pretty interesting. I mean, at some point, if these people are on the right track, we are going to learn that we've been visited. And what does that mean sociologically? There's some new papers floating around, actually on space.com this morning. I think they posted a thing I wrote about a really interesting paper about just different kinds of intersections with understanding we're not alone and what that means sociologically. And I don't think we're there yet, and it depends on, the article kind of talks about, depends on the scenario of what we're going to get. But from a journalistic standpoint, this story is a treadmill. It's been going on, and I'm losing weight on this thing, on a treadmill. I'm tired of the reporters. They know somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody. And you just can't expect the public to dive in on this thing unless we got some hardcore data or whatever that's going to be. And how this comes out in the government framework, I have no idea. But, I'm tired of, and I respect a lot of the reporters because they are trying to get to something. But what the hell it is, I don't know. And then you have, if it's really real, what the ramifications are for the public. It gets back to the search for life. I mean, it gets back to what you were talking about. I mean, just, the unknown of, maybe we got it wrong here. We based our whole psychology on what life is, and because we're there, we're here, and we know what we are. But looking elsewhere in the universe and trying to understand what dynamics may be going on out there, it's a great story, but it's a treadmill. And I'm telling you, man, I'm down to 112. I don't know.
Well, and it's not helped by, was it this year or last year when that gentleman Gresh was giving his testimony, and everything was, well, a friend of mine said that he heard from his ex-wife's cousin that, something. It's like, well, did you see anything yourself, sir? Well, no, I don't think I did. All right.
He's come out and said he's actually changed his tune there, which is a little worrisome if you really try to follow what the hell he's saying now compared to the testimony. So the things have changed a bit there. You still have, there's a cottage industry of people trying to promote the full disclosure thing, and it's just from a psychological thing. Why I keep trying to follow this. At some point, we're going to know we're not alone. And I'm really trying to understand what the dynamics of that situation is really going to be, what the public would think. I'll get to your, Rod, who cares? Maybe it's just, it's just one of those, okay, well, you look at all the polls, the public thinks we've got visitors, we got aliens, they've already assimilated it. So maybe it won't have an impact. But, man, something's going to have to happen next year.
But I was going to say 2024, you heard it, right?
Yeah.
Well, the main alien
someone actually catches a real photo that's not like the Bigfoot Magruder video or whatever that is, grainy, it'll be an actual picture with a selfie. The billions of selfies that get taken every year, they'll finally get one. Okay,
so we're just over a third of a way through our show.
We haven't even gotten to the year.
Probably got to move along. So let's take this moment. Happy holidays, everybody. Let's take this moment to take a break for one of our favorite sponsors, and we will be right back. This episode of This Week in Space is brought to you by Bitwarden, the only open source cross-platform password manager you can trust. Security Now's Steve Gibson, our pal, has even switched over. With Bitwarden, all the data in your vault is end-to-end encrypted, not just your passwords. Bitwarden protects you by creating unique usernames and adding strong, randomly generated passwords for each account or using any of their 6 integrated email alias services. You can log into Bitwarden and decrypt your vault after using SSO on a registered trusted device. No master password is needed. On top of being public to the world, Bitwarden has professional third-party audits performed yearly and published on its website. You can even view all of Bitwarden's code on GitHub. Share private data securely with fully customizable plans for personal or business needs. Start with a personal plan that is free forever and get unlimited devices, unlimited passwords, and passkey management. Or enjoy premium features by upgrading to a premium account for less than $1 per month. Or for only $3.33 a month, their family plan will give you up to 6 accounts with premium features and unlimited sharing and collections. Their enterprise plan is now just $6 per user per month. And they now have a team starter plan, which is a flat $20 per month for 10 users, which provides great value for smaller teams with all the premium features. Or pay $4 per month per user with teams of 11 or more. At Twit, we're fans of password managers, so get started with Bitwarden's free trial of a Teams or Enterprise plan, or get started for free across all devices as an individual user at bitwarden.com/twit. That's bitwarden.com/twit. And we're back. All right. Hey, Tarek.
Yes, Rod. Yes.
We had a record number of launches this year.
Yeah. Yeah.
183, I believe, so far, and we're not done. There's one taking off of Vandenberg tonight.
That's right. That's right. There's probably going to boom. There's still 2 weeks left in this. There's still 2 weeks left in this year too. So we've got some room to grow.
Now, I'd like to point out that well over half of these are just SpaceX.
That's right.
About half. And we talked about this before, but Elon, love him, hate him, feel indifferent, which very few people do, I'm sure. If it wasn't for SpaceX and Elon Musk, the United States would probably be down at like 40 or 30. There just aren't that many rockets going up that aren't SpaceX Falcon 9s and Falcon Heavies. And it's kind of jaw-dropping when you realize that the next contender by a wide margin is China, and then Russia after that, and a few others here and there. We'd be looking at not just being outproduced by China in just about every industrial area, but also being outlaunched, which, does it really matter? It matters some more to some than others, but from a national security perspective and so forth, not having this capability and having to pay our friends at United Launch Alliance and other places billions and billions of dollars just to be on standby every year, which is what they used to do, was crazy. Yeah. So this is quite an achievement, and hats off to SpaceX.
It is for a company that nearly 2007, 2008 that had
just about out
that almost fizzled out because they couldn't get that first Falcon 1 off the ground until the fourth try. To see where they are now is mind-boggling. And I'm not sure if I've ever told you, but I used to be a very much I'll believe it when I see it kind of person, and when there were all these private companies saying that they were going to have rockets and they were going to be able to reuse them.
Well, we had seen it before and it didn't work. Yeah.
Well, and we had seen a lot of PowerPoint things in like the early 2000s and getting up to the close of that. And then in 2010 is when that Falcon 9 flew for the first one. And then a little while later, they flew it again and again. And now we have 2, sometimes 3 Falcon launches a week now, as they're building out their Starlink catalog. And it's almost like it's taken for granted. And I think they're at 94 or 5 at this point, because they hit the 90 mark for SpaceX alone in just like the first week of December. And they're hoping, at least this is from Elon Musk, to break 100 next year in 2024 with the campaign that they've got planned for that. And so I think it's just an interesting milestone, to say, even though we've had a lot of launches this year, there's probably going to be a lot more in 2024 and beyond, because there's more companies ready to try for space. Stoke Aerospace, Relativity Space, and Astra, if they kind of get out of the financial stuff that's going on right now. They've all got plans, and meanwhile, Rocket Lab has plans for another rocket that's going to be coming online in a couple of years that will add even more launches to that too. So I think what we're seeing is a significant rise in access to space.
I have a question for Leonard about those other companies. So for years, Blue Origin started 2 years before SpaceX. And for years, we've been watching them build these big plants in Florida and Texas and Washington. And all these trucks of stuff go in the front door. And I keep waiting for a big rocket to come out the back door. But it's kind of like getting news out of North Korea. What do you know? Because you know everything.
Well, no, I don't. I don't know. I've asked Blue Origin things, and they have a hierarchy of public affairs there, and you're not going to get much
Well, let me stop. Let me stop real quick, because when I started at space.com, and I called Blue Origin just to introduce myself and say, hi, it's me. I'm the new spaceflight reporter at space.com. And I'd love, and I said, this is like when I was a little baby space reporter. And I said, I'd love to have an interview just to kind of see how things are going and with the state of Blue Origin. And they told me verbatim, you should call that Leonard David guy. He seems to know what we're doing.
Yeah, right.
It's what they said.
That is weird.
Well, I've lost the thread there, I'm sure. But, I think it's encouraging all these groups. I mean, look what we've gone through. And I really can't follow Astra and some of these other groups that are trying to get their vehicle together, and the stocks, and, who's going to survive this week, and being melded into somebody else. And so it's encouraging. It does, again, a history kind of thing is aviation went through this kind of thing. I mean, you had a lot of Curtiss flyers. You had a lot of airline companies that were started and cratered and amalgamated into other things. So, in some ways, it seems to be a pattern that we go through with these entrepreneurs, and it's great. In the end of the day, launch costs are going to go down, which everybody has been bitching about for decades. And with the I don't want to get into it, but with the launch cost coming down, more goes up. And then you have more orbital debris. You got space pollution issues. You've got some other issues that as I fade out in my career here, I'm spending more time on space pollution and what we've got to deal with in the next decade. It's too late already in some cases. Too late.
Yeah.
So we're in trouble on a couple points, but SpaceX, great. I will say, anybody that has not read Walter Isaacson's book on Elon, you need to read that book.
Yeah.
He got this guy, and like Rod said, you love him, you hate him, you wonder what the hell he's doing. I started my whole book review with an Animals song called "Please Don't Let Me Be Misunderstood." That's Elon Musk. What a talent, and where he's going to take us, I don't know. But all the other ancillary things around his psyche and his persona, it's really complicated. But Walter did an amazing job there of being with him for a couple of years.
Yeah,
it's a great read.
And like I said, like I used to be very much like taking all these claims for what these companies say that they can do, Rod, with a grain of salt, saying, I'll believe it when I see it. Yeah. And then SpaceX and Elon Musk said that they're going to launch a rocket, and it was like, okay. And then they're going to land a rocket, and it's like, well, okay. Then they launched a triple core rocket and landed those rockets. And then they started reflying all the rockets. And then they're building like a giant Starship. And I mean, and I've seen the thing launch with my own eyes, like this ginormous rocket, which I think we're going to talk about in a little bit too, as one of the standouts for the
next. As soon as you let me,
yeah, okay, all right, I'll let you go.
And by the way, I've sent you about 40 messages on Slack in the last 2 minutes, which you're handily ignoring. So they're over there to your left. I'm talking to you, Tarek.
He sent me, everyone, I wish I could screenshot this. It's just a bunch of question marks over and over and over again.
I was trying to get you to turn your head because you just ignore things. All right. Speaking of Elon, we had our Starship test this year, our second one just a few weeks ago. And arguably it was successful. The press, of course, loves to jump on our rockets always blow up. Sounds like the right stuff. But yes, it exploded. The first stage exploded, probably due to damage from the staging, unless somebody's heard something different. And the upper stage was self-terminated, we think, because it lost radio contact with the ground. And if you don't know where you're going, you're supposed to blow up. But It did launch properly. All the 33 engines lit up and fired all the way until the exhaustion of the first stage.
That's a record, by the way. That's a new record for simultaneous engines firing, by the way.
Well, especially if you're a Russian, from the N1. And it's at hot stage, which is the first time they had tried that. And that was fairly successful. They didn't destroy the launch pad. They didn't launch any car-sized chunks of concrete into people's homes downrange. So a lot of good things happened, and yet the press still kind of jumps on. And if they mention those good things, and I'm talking more about popular press here, not Ars Technica or something, but popular press, if they do mention the successes, it's kind of like, well, but this part worked. But it blew up. And it's a little frustrating. And, we're all sitting here watching SpaceX and thinking, okay, guys, you're building that lunar landing vehicle. You've got, I'm looking at my watch, just this much time left to get things in order for that 2024-25 landing we're supposed to have, which we, of course, we're all rolling our eyes about. Leonard, peer into that crystal ball that's in front of you. Or sort through the bird bones in your beard. And tell us when we're going to see our next Starship launch, and B, when we're going to have our Starship lunar landing vehicle.
Oh, yeah. Well, okay. Well, I'm looking in the crystal ball, and it rolled off the table and broke. So there you go. I'm not going to have much to go with. Yeah. Well, it's FAA's engaged. I'd say the one thing that I really found a little appalling is not the word, but it's something. FAA really got right on those guys after the launch and said mishap. Okay, it's a mishap. But, on the other hand, if you listen to Lon, he's checking off boxes here, and he's getting more successful with that vehicle. And so, 33 engines going at once. Man, they were lucky to get 5 Saturn V engines going at once. I'm old enough to remember how much problem they have with that. And so 33 of those damn things going off, and figuring out that you need a water deluge system on the launch pad is very big.
Well,
how does the lawn is?
I think they knew that in the beginning, and they chose not to do it.
So, you could have got a bunch of people out there with hoses, garden hoses, trying to put that thing out. Anyway,
I think though, like when you look at it, Rod, when you look at like the year that was for a space flight, the fact that this private company that we've been talking about launched the world's largest and most powerful rocket, not once
by far,
but they launched it twice in the same year, and they got farther the second time than they did with the first. So it is a progression. Is it going fast enough for their plans for private trips around the moon and to meet their obligations to NASA? Probably not right now. They have to solve a lot of other challenges that are beyond just launching the rocket into orbit, because they have to do refueling and all of that stuff. But the next
that's a big one, by the way, because at this point, the number of refuel flights we hear keeps getting larger and larger, and that's pretty critical.
And they're going to do like an internal vehicle test of that technology, the very first one, on the third flight, which could happen in January. So they've got a lot. I mean, you've seen the images. I've been out there. They have.
Well, if you stand at Starbase, you're right. They have 3 or 4 of these things lined up beyond the launch
and
pad,
more boosters.
So
they're all just
not like
waiting
they're not ready to go.
But
now, how many of those are?
If you're NASA, though, I'm sorry. At some point, there's cut bait on this SpaceX deal. Because, if, they got their own problems. The GAO just did another study looking at the quagmire of, again, I'm getting old. It's the Gomer Pyle effect, surprise, surprise.
Surprise.
Well, my God, they're going to be over costing and, technical issues and all this. So, I don't know where this intersection comes of where NASA feels like they're ready to do the moon landing and they got no way to get the people down on the moon.
Right.
That seems to be a negative.
But it also seems like SpaceX, the pace of development on this lunar lander, and who knows what's happening at Blue Origins.
Yeah.
But it does seem like it's giving NASA proper and Boeing in particular a little bit of cover. Well, and the space suit makers in terms of, it'd be great if we had a lunar lander, but you guys need EVA suits, and you haven't actually built a new true EVA suit since 1988, I believe, which is a long time ago.
They also need life support on all their rockets. NASA needs life support on Orion for Artemis 2, which they're still working on, and SpaceX needs it on the Starship. All the way there and all the way back, and then we need spacesuits, and then we need rovers, and then all the things. So I don't know. There's still a lot. There's still a lot to do.
You don't look like a cheerful elf anymore, but we have to move on.
But the thing is, like what I said is they'll get there eventually, probably not on the timeline, but the fact that they're building it. I mean, the alternative right now is NASA's second option, which I think Blue Origin and a couple of others are competing again for that second slot for the other lander. And where's that hardware? We haven't seen any of that stuff being built yet, at all.
Well, so I'll leave you with one word, and that is China. All right, we have to go for a break. We'll be right back with the launch that didn't happen yet of ULA's Vulcan. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. All right. So speaking of Vulcans, I'm doing my Vulcan finger thing here. United Launch Alliance is working on their replacement for the Atlas V for an awfully long time. Speaking of late projects, and part of this was predicated on we got to change engines on the Atlas because they were running Russian engines, and Russia invaded Ukraine, and one thing came to another, and Congress said you can't buy engines from Russia, and Russia said we're not going to sell you engines anyway. Nya. So that was it for the Atlas, and the Atlas was expensive to build. And although it was redesigned about, 15 years ago, the roots of the Atlas go back to the 50s and ICBMs. So this is not a cheap way of building a rocket. Tory Bruno himself in an interview said, frankly, we sort of saw the light when we saw what SpaceX was doing, and we had to kind of rejigger how we were doing things, both in terms of cost, process, time, and everything else. So hence the Vulcan. And what was the first projected launch date for the Vulcan? Do you guys remember?
It was going to be earlier this year. It was supposed to be earlier.
I thought it was prior to 2020 originally. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's been a while.
But, it's hard to build rockets, and they were, although ULA has been doing it for an awful long time. And I know they were working on a partial recovery system. Last I read, they were going to eject the engines and parachute them down and catch them with a helicopter and all that stuff. Where do we stand with Vulcan, you guys?
Well, we actually heard from Tory Bruno, just this week. Actually, was it earlier today or was it yesterday? Anyway, they did a wet dress rehearsal that they've done two actually for the first Vulcan rocket called CERT-1, I believe is the mission, and they didn't get the signals, like the readings that they wanted during the first one, which was over the past weekend, and so they were able to get through one earlier this week, just a day or two ago, and they say that they got the data that they wanted from that fueling, that they're on track now for I believe it's January 9th, if memory serves, or January 8th. It's one of those 2 days. I believe it's and that's partially because they're carrying a mission to the moon, the private Peregrine lander, and they actually have to launch during certain windows for that. And the next window after their December 24th target is January, that first week of January, that early January there too. So that's where we are right now. Whether or not it sticks to that, because I do believe they have to do a full static fire, or at least an initial static fire on the pad too, to get comfortable with it. So that's like the next big milestone to see how they do at their pad as they get ready for launch. But at least everyone's Christmas Eve is safe, from a new rocket launch.
But the main thing about that thing, God help them, I hope it works. But having a lunar mission on top of that thing for the first maiden flight, pretty sporty right off, and this. Could bode well or bode bad for the commercial lunar program, the CLIPS program that NASA's, riding on. And there's a number of other, lunar landers that NASA's put some money into. And, You got the private. This is a crapshoot. We're at a point where that thing, you got NASA running around with a lot of these, low-cost launchers trying to snuggle on there and save money, and they're trying to do the best. But anyway, that launch is beyond ULA. It really is a signal about private involvement in lunar exploration as far as NASA is concerned. So it's a big mission in a lot of ways. So that one worries me a lot. And you mentioned China going out, and that's the story. I continue to say, and I will drop over dead saying it, China is the story. Mm-hmm. They are calling the tunes. They're going to do Mars sample return. They're going to do more lunar sample return. They're getting more gutsy about their International Space Station. You're going to see more modules go up. You may see next year, now it's slipped, but their own Hubble telescope near their space station that they hope to launch. And, I just see them as like, and they just launched their experimental X-37B copycat or whatever.
Shenlong, right? The Shenlong space.
Yeah, the Shenlong.
I like copycat better. I think that's more apt. But
well, we don't know. We don't have a lot of detail on what that thing does. I think the U.S. military knows exactly. They probably got pictures. It's up there. So anyway, our X-37B superliner military space vehicle is on the pad, going through shenanigans there. We're not sure what's going on, getting that off. So it's really, what a great end of the year. Forecast of things to come.
Well, and it's worth mentioning, I think, that especially for Leonard and I, because we're old dudes.
Yeah.
It's pretty clear that the U.S., NASA in particular, but the U.S. in general seems, mostly because of money from Congress, seems to work better when we have somebody to be pissed off at and to push against. And we saw it during the space race. We saw it during the Cold War with Reagan's strategic defense initiative projects, otherwise known as Star Wars, over and over and over again. When we've got somebody to shake a fist and clench our teeth at, we pick up the pace, get off our behinds, and get things done. If not, at least in the peacetime sector, things seem to really drag. And by the way, gentlemen, we've gotten through 3 of our 19 stories.
I was looking at that. There's a lot that happened this year.
So let's roll on. But first, let's go to our next ad break, and we'll be right back after this message from our sponsor. Stay with us. Speaking of the moon, we had Chandrayaan-3 this year, was fabulously successful. Yeah. A follow-on to the partially successful Chandrayaan-2 and the very successful Chandrayaan-1. This is India making their spaceflight chops and general technological might felt. And I mean, on top of that, it's an extension of the story, which we can go into later if we have time, but they're planning a crewed spaceflight for as early as maybe late next year or 2 years hence. But let's talk about Chandrayaan-3. Lunar orbiter, lunar lander, lunar rover, did cool stuff.
Yeah, they won this summer, I would say, with this launch. Chandrayaan-3 was the comeback story for the India Space Research Organization after their initial Chandrayaan-2 lander, Vikram, failed to successfully land on the lunar surface a few years ago, and this was kind of a repeat of that with a little bit more robust systems and whatnot from the things that they had learned, and in the summer, what was it? Around August 23rd or so, that was when their Vikram lander landed, not just with the lander, but with a little rover as well, Pragyan, and it did phenomenal. It lasted actually a little bit longer than they wanted to. They hoped it was going to come back after its first lunar night. So far, I don't think that it did. But one interesting thing that happened just recently, because we thought that mission was over and they had learned everything that they wanted from it. Of course, the orbiter, the vehicle was kind of still up there. They brought that thing back. So the cruise stage that delivered the lander and the rover to the moon they brought it back to Earth orbit just to see if they could do it. And that was a big success for them too, which means they can now go to and from the moon, with these vehicles to get ready for the inevitable Chandrayaan-4 and beyond. So very, very great success story. I think it's just kind of a model. They went to the Mars with the Mars orbiter mission for like a tenth the cost, I think, of what NASA's Maven mission was at the time. They were both kind of going there at the same time.
Well, the public figure was $80 million, but they had some command and control help from NASA and JPL, so I don't know what the real numbers were. But yeah, I was going to ask Leonard about that. These costs, and that the fact that well over half their workforce is women, which is kind of cool. Yeah. But of course, part of that's because they pay them less, so it's kind of a mixed bag.
Yeah, but the other thing that stood out in that Indian mission was the Russian crashing the Luna 25 a couple days prior, right? And it was a dud. And the Russians trying to get their lunar legs underneath them again after such a pioneering effort by the
after starting it, right? Yeah, they were first ones there.
They were cranking those out. They were doing really well. And you look at ICI, the space science group that worked hard on the payloads, and it just did not come together, and they had a software glitch and they lost it. So but they're committed apparently to go ahead with the next series of lunar missions, and hopefully they'll get it right. I like to see, they got such a talent, frankly, talent base over there, whether you hate Russia or love them, whatever it is, they got a great science background, and from a research standpoint and the science that they can do with their landers, it will be impressive if they can ever get the things to work technologically. So I don't count Russia out, but they really got a black eye on Luna 25, that's for sure.
Because they were
compared to India, success.
Yeah, and that had to be kind of embarrassing. And they were launching, I believe, the very first Luna probes. Were they 1960 or 1959? They were really early.
Oh, early, man. No. As a kid, I grew up, watching my San Diego Union front page. The far side of the moon taken by a Russian spacecraft. I mean, it was a pretty exciting time, and we had never seen the far side. So
that was amazing.
I hope they come back. I think the other big story that nobody's paying attention to, NASA, has finally given a go-ahead to try to do return samples with the Chinese. This is a big thing. Getting around the political wolf trap problem, and having NASA-funded research.
I just got that.
Okay,
it took me a minute.
Some of the coffee is starting to hit now. So
the Wolf Amendment. Yeah.
Anyway, we got a beginning of what I hope is going to be an exchange program between NASA and China, because I think if China is successful in getting Mars samples back, let's make sure we got the bureaucracies in place, because they'll probably be successful. One would hope somebody will bring samples back, but that's another god awful story there.
Yeah. But just I think to clarify really quickly, the samples Leonard was talking about, that's a new agreement to share the lunar samples from the Chang'e 5 sample return mission.
Right.
But it is, as you mentioned, it is like a really significant kind of cross-pollination sharing moment because of the political issues that we've had cooperating with the U.S. has had cooperating with China in the past. And so it'll be interesting to see how that moves forward as China continues its own lunar programs, as NASA continues its own too for sample return, et cetera.
Yeah. Well, and Mars sample return is an interesting topic to me, because I wrote a chapter in think it was Interplanetary Robots a couple years ago, looking at Mars Sample Return. What are you laughing at? That book sold.
I have written about Mars Sample Return. Most of our life has been writing Mars Sample Return.
That book sold at least 2,000 copies. But the Russians were looking at, we've been looking at this for decades, as you point out. The Russians were looking at it for decades. The Russians had a big, heavy, fully pressurized for their crude electronics version of this ready to go, at least on paper, in the 1970s, started building it. It would have been a monster. It's really complicated to do this. And that, of course, never flew. We talked about it, looked at it and scratched our heads and got the Vikings there in 1976, which was amazing. 2 orbiters, 2 landers, very successful. But they didn't bring anything back. And you can only do so much when you're there. So, Leonard, or either of you guys, what's the latest? I'm cringing to ask this. What's the latest realistic cost estimate on Mars Sample Return?
Oh, man. I have to look that up.
No, they're up to 11 billion.
Yeah.
And I've been monitoring, the person that should get a lot of exposure, but, she does show up at the various meetings, and Lori Glaze, she's running the planetary budget. And frankly, she's running around trying to calm everybody, whether you're a Venus person or you're a Mars person or you're Europa or whatever. Her message is stand by, budgets are bad. We're going to see a real nosedive here, and the money is not going to be available to do the kinds of things that everybody has been working very hard to do, including Mars Sample Return. At $11 billion, this thing capsizes the entire budget. Now, they got protective tissue somehow, rhetoric-wise, around spending that much money without damaging the rest of the whole planetary space science program. I think that's a lot of hand-waving. This thing is in trouble big time. This independent review board pretty much put a nail in the coffin on that thing and go back to bare wood. But what is bare wood for Mars Sample Return? You almost get to the point where, is this really worth it?
Yeah.
Is this really a program that should go ahead?
Yeah, and that independent review board found in September that there was a quote unquote near zero probability of launching between 2027 and 2028 as per this latest assessment. So they're looking at 2030 now. Again, 2030. It's always 10 to 20 years out. Always.
Yeah, fusion.
So the Mars sample, the Mars Sample Return rocket will cross paths with incoming modules from the International Space Station in 2030. Tarek, why don't you pick our next story, since we're kind of reaching the thin ice here?
Yeah, we got a lot. I would say, one of the things that I really want to highlight, we're talking about sample return a lot, and we mentioned it earlier at the start, is just how amazing the OSIRIS-REx mission was this year to bring back the samples from Bennu. We're already getting like a taste of what the science return is, and it's by all accounts, it sounds like they might have a massive amount of samples as soon as they can get the container open, which is a little bit of like a funny little twist to it, but they'll get it open eventually, even if they got it.
Well, just to be fair, there are people that were, I think I was looking through letters, the editor the other day on Ad Astra, somebody had written, I'll show those guys how to put a screwdriver in there and crack that thing open. And it's like, there's a lot of stuff to consider. If you're going to put a tool in there, you got to make sure it's not going to react with the sample.
Yeah.
If you pick up the container and start shaking it, you got to make sure that's not going to damage the sample. So this is very precious stuff that we're not going to see again for a long time.
And I'll tell you, I had flashbacks watching the return. I mean, our editor, Brett Tingley, was there. I think, Leonard, you were there, right?
Oh, yeah.
For the landing. And I had flashbacks back to when, Leonard, you were out there for Genesis in Utah, waiting for the Genesis capsule to come back. And we were all kind of in our little space.com mission control, like tracking the live stream. And I remember to this day when our content editor, Tasha, said, as they caught it on camera, is it supposed to be wobbling like that?
Yeah.
Because the Genesis capsule had not deployed its parachute, and then it just crashed into the desert floor and was just all shattered. And they still got some samples and some science out of it, which is great. But you always have that in the back of your mind, and to watch it go as near flawlessly as it did. They did have I believe some like a drogue parachute issue, but they didn't prevent the thing from landing, luckily. Was just absolutely, something. And I've, knowing Dante Loretta personally and having spoken with him and gotten to know him and a lot of the rest of the OSIRIS-REx team I was really heartened to see that go the way that they had hoped it would go after so many years, to get out to the asteroid, to try to get the samples and to come back, and it was kind of the kickoff for what has been a really amazing fall and end of the year for asteroid science. We had the Psyche asteroid mission, to the metal asteroid worth whatever bajillion dollars in metals, went off without a hitch as well. We had the Lucy spacecraft, which is out to visit multiple asteroids in the solar system, swing by its first target and find out that it wasn't just one, but it was multiple asteroids, which is crazy. And so those findings just keep coming, and it's all just really exciting to kind of see what our solar system is made of with much more detail, and now with hands-on with all of these samples going around.
Well, and with Lucy, so that was asteroid 152830. That was actually turned out to be another one of these weirdo contact binaries, right?
Yeah, Dinkinesh. I think its name is Dinkinesh, actually.
Yeah. These things come together slowly, and they just kind of bump into each other, and they stick. So instead of annihilating each other, they come up and go, "Hey, how you doing? Let's get together." Yeah. And there they are for keeps. Well, we've done it again. We've run up to the top of the hour with a bunch of stories left. So I say we put these into a sample return container and set them aside until we can afford to bring them home. And I want to thank both you guys for joining me for this holiday moment. Leonard, we really appreciate you coming along. I know your life's been very busy, and I appreciate you making time for us, and hope you'll come back when we do our wraparound the rest of these stories, because it's fun having you here. And frankly, you give me a perspective on UFOs/UAPs/ ... whatever you want to call them, that I don't get anywhere else, and I appreciate that.
So I got a lot to learn. There's a lot to explore, and I hope the journalists that are working hard on this story crack it open.
No, I hope so too, and I'm counting on you to do that. Yeah. And Tarek, where can we find you delivering lumps of coal this holiday season?
Well, it is the season for tamales. So if everything goes right, I will be celebrating the holidays with my family over in California. We'll be having some tasty tamales and ringing in that new year. But I will miss everybody, all you listeners out there, and I'm looking forward to what may be an even busier, which I find hard to imagine, 2024 in space exploration next year. So a lot to look forward to. Artemis 2 and the solar eclipse are just the tip of that iceberg in 2024. So you'll want to watch out and get ready for it.
Well, and Tarek, I just want you to know I'll be going to Dallas for the solar eclipse, but because space.com never invites me to anything they do, including the Genesis landing, no, I'll be nice. I'll invite you. Leonard, you have a great website where you break stories all the time. What's the URL?
Well, they're there to break. There's a lot of things happening at once, and keeping an eye on it is it's fun, but it can be frustrating. And 2024, I agree. Wow. I don't know what's going to happen, but man, it's going to eclipse this year.
So is it leonarddavid.com?
Yep.
All right.
And Mars Boy on Twitter, I think, right, Leonard?
Oh yeah, Mars Boy.
Mars Boy. I'd like that makes me feel young, and it's not true.
That's why I said it.
Of course, you can always find me at pilebooks.com and at astromagazine.com, where all my stuff hangs out. Please don't forget to drop us a line at twis@twit.tv. That's TWIS at twit.tv. We love getting your comments, suggestions, ideas, and your jokes. I forgot to do the joke pitch this week, but finish your jokes, because that last one I thought was a real slam dunk. I thought he really knocked it out of the park.
Would you say it's out of this world?
Yeah, it's You are disintegrated. We love getting your comments, except for Tarek's. Don't forget to check out space.com. The website's in the name. It's the best thing going online. And next best thing is National Space Society at NSS.org. We just revamped our website.
Yay.
With great expense and effort. It was, 9 months, I think, with our great web designer, David Crump. And I think finally, when I started working with the NSS again, I joined them in the 80s. And I kind of came back in the mid 2000s, and I looked at the website, and it looked like something had been optimized for Netscape 3. It was everything practically burlap and push pins, and we updated it once, and it was better. But now it looks like a true the first third of the 21st century website. So check it out, nss.org. Both are good places to satisfy your spaceflight cravings. New episodes of this podcast published every Friday, except for the next two, on your favorite podcatcher. We're taking Christmas break. So be sure to subscribe, tell your friends, and give us reviews. Folks, we need numbers. We're trying to stay free to everybody to listen to. And if we're going to do that, we need numbers. We could use Club Twit members, but probably more important than that is we really need numbers. We need subscribers. We need you to share the faith with your friends and show your love and click those buttons, thumbs up, subscribe, all that junk, because otherwise we can't keep doing this. And if we can't keep doing this, Tarek and I won't be able to hang out together on Fridays. That's my plea to you.
Be sad.
And don't forget, you can get all the great programming on the Twit Network ad-free on Club Twit for just $7 a month. They're facing tough times, so do us all a favor and go over and sign up. You can get one show for $3.99 or all for $7. And you can follow the Twit Tech Podcast Network at Twit on Twitter and on Facebook and twit.tv and Instagram. So, Tarek, I'd like to ask you to hang around for a bit longer because we're going to cover a couple more stories that club members can find in the Twit Plus feed. So you're going to stay with me?
Yeah, let's do it.
Thanks very much, everybody, and happy holidays. Those are my jingle bells, out of tune as they are.
Happy New Year,
you guys.
too.
Yeah, we'll see you guys on the flip side. Take care.